What is up, everyone? Welcome back to At the Movies with Matt and Ryan. A little bit of a shorter break this time. We're back with three movies to review, a special 3-in-1. Matt is here on the other line as usual.
Hello.
We got three movies that, to preface it, aren't great, but nonetheless, we're still going to review them because they are worth mentioning. Couple big releases. So the three we're going to go over today are Uncle Drew, The Purge, and what's the last one?
Sicario.
Sicario. Oh gosh. All right. Maybe that's why I just had a brain fart. But yeah. So those are the three. So we can get right to it without wasting any time. Matt, what do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the most recent one, or do you want to do an older one?
I say Uncle Drew because I'm a baller.
All right, we'll do Uncle Drew. My man Kyrie.
Yes. Based on the popular commercials done by Pepsi, Pepsi even actually sponsored the movie. So it's literally a commercial of a movie. But we follow Uncle Drew, who's this kind of old basketball player. And once he's recruited by this guy who's trying to assemble his team for Rucker Park, he, along with the coach, go on a road trip to kind of get back his old squad and go back to his glory days of balling. So
yeah. I enjoyed most of the movie, and obviously it has a lot of issues with it, but I kind of expected it. Like I got what I expected, I know we went with a couple of our friends and they were saying, oh, it wasn't as good as they thought it was going to be. But I don't know, it's a movie with Kyrie Irving and Reggie Miller and Chris Webber. It's like you got the TNT cast for basketball. It's like it's not going to be like a phenomenal movie. So, but other than I do think that this movie was really fun, and it was the typical summer film. I felt like on the light side of things, and obviously the acting was it wasn't great, but there definitely was some personality to it. Like Shaq was in it, and I think if you're not a basketball fan, you still should know that Shaq is kind of a goofy person in general. So I thought he brought a lot of life to the movie. And I think the worst part of it was the acting and the dramatic portions of the film when the movie tried to have a heart to it, because it kind of fell flat, just how goofy it was. But yeah, I thought it was overall pretty good.
You talked a lot about the basketball players, but I think the best part of the movie is honestly the movie's core comedic cast. Leroy, Howery, Tiffany Haddish, and Nick Kroll. They're all very funny in this movie, and especially Nick Kroll, who gets to just play this wonderfully obnoxious character, and he's just having a blast doing it. And they really bring a lot of good energy and spark to the film. The movie thankfully doesn't take itself too seriously. Most of it is comedy, but when it does take itself seriously, it does stumble pretty poorly, just because the acting with the NBA players is really not good. I don't need to see Kyrie Irving trying to win an Oscar. That's I don't know. Let LeBron do it, because he was good in Trainwreck, but
wow. Oh no!
Well,
are you saying Kyrie
is
is the little brother of acting as well?
Yeah, I'm definitely saying that.
No, but I do, obviously I agree that Nick Kroll and Leroy Howery were were the standouts as far as the comedian portion, but that's just because they're actual actors. I can't fault the movie for too much. I definitely have to say that the acting was bad, but like I said, you got to look at it through context. These are NBA players and analysts.
The movie was very pleasant.
Yeah, it was.
It simmered. It never was. The jokes were chuckle-worthy. The movie was never hilarious, or it was never that memorable. It doesn't make a big impression.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that because what it does try to do, it mostly succeeds. I think this movie takes too long to get going.
Was it just
that's definitely.
Was it just me, or was Tiffany Haddish a little off in this movie? I don't know.
I don't know. She didn't get a lot to do.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I felt like, I don't know. The actual actors definitely were in the back burner of this movie. It seemed like, or not in the forefront. So I don't know, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a 6 for me.
I'm gonna give it a 7. I thought it was solid.
It was just very forgettable. Like, I saw it probably a little over a week ago, and I really don't recall much from it. It was fine. It's fine for what it is. It's a decent summer movie,
Yeah.
But that's it.
Definitely don't make a sequel.
No.
All right. Well, let's move on.
I don't know what the heck it would even be.
You never know. They made a bunch of Pepsi commercials, so. Let's move on though. The second. What do you want to go with now? Sicario.
Sicario, definitely.
Oh gosh. All right.
Soldado.
Sicario. Soldado.
Do you want to be a Sicario? Oh my god.
Soldado. All right. So this is the sequel supposedly to the first Sicario from 2015. This one follows an FBI agent, Matt Graver, who calls on mysterious operative Alejandro Gilic when Mexican drug cartels start to smuggle terrorists across the U.S. border. And, yeah. I don't know.
It stinks.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
This was, I know this is kind of a surprise, but this was probably my worst movie of the year, least favorite.
I'm so surprised you say that. I don't know. I just feel like there's been a lot worse movies.
Yeah, but this is personal for me because I was like thoroughly miserable in this theater, and I was thinking back on it. Originally, when I walked out, I didn't think it was going to be my least favorite. I knew it was going to be bottom 5, but then I thought to myself, when was the last time this year where I was this miserable in a movie? And I can't remember. Not to mention.
You got to see 1517 to Paris or Truth or Dare.
Well, yeah, that's my Well, if I see those, if I find the time to see those, maybe it'll turn out different. But just for
15 to 17 to Paris is a shit show.
I mean,
oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's only July, and maybe I'll find a movie that I find worse, but as of right now, it's my least favorite, and not to mention
I think this movie's this year in particular has had a lot of stink piles. Like the Mute was fucking trash.
Mute's in the bottom 5.
Mute's not bottom 5. What?
No, I said it's in bottom 5 for me.
Oh, that's my number 2 worst. And then you have Gringo, which was fucking terrible.
Gringo is in there.
Jurassic World was awful. Death Wish was awful. 12 Strong was awful. Like. That's not even. I didn't even mention Show Dogs.
Yeah. Well, not to mention though that but Show Dogs was a couple of those movies were funny at least though, like to laugh at. Like this, what was funny to laugh at? Like, not to mention this movie was politically tone deaf and like kind of gross. Like it never should have been a sequel, Matt. And for the fact that it never should have been a movie in general, it's like. How can you not say it's one of the worst movies of the year?
Yeah, you're arguing like I disagree with you, but I did not like the film either.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, I watched roughly 3/5 of it. I did fall asleep for a good 20 minutes. I did wake up in time for the ending. I was literally waking up and I just hear, "Do you want to be a Sicario?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, is Benicio del Toro recruiting the Avengers or something? I don't know what's going on here, but I caught up with it, so I think I'm in a good place to talk about the movie. This movie sucks. I don't even know where to start. I think that the screenplay, Taylor Sheridan has written a few good scripts, most notably Wind River and Hell or High Water, but this movie, it's just. Like you said, the politics of it are really gross and just kind of like
he basically
I don't know.
makes it. He makes like the ultimate, yeah, go America movie. You know, we got to stop the terrorists. Every Mexican that crosses the border is a terrorist. That's what he was basically saying in this film, and it was the most tone deaf thing I've ever seen. Like, do you understand the state, like our political state right now? Like, this movie does not fit in the world we live in today. I don't want to watch Sheridan's like fantasy. Like, I really don't. It was disgusting. Like,
The thing he usually does well in his movies is develop characters and subplots, but like both Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro's character, you'd learn nothing new about them. I mean, Josh
yeah,
Brolin here is just hamming it up. He's just being an asshole, and I guess some of those scenes were kind of amusing, but the script just never develops anything in an interesting way. There's a subplot with this kid who's kind of getting involved with drugs, and like it just doesn't go anywhere interesting. It just feels super convenient, like I don't know. It just felt lazy writing, and the direction. When you go from having a great mind like Denis Villeneuve, who makes everything so visual and interesting, to Stefano Solima, who has no directorial experience, the movie just doesn't look that good. Like, there's a
yeah.
couple of shots where it's clear the movie's trying to ape the visual style of the original film, and they're just really not that interesting. And like, it's clear where Villeneuve's direction kind of steered away from Sheridan's script. Like, apparently, he rewrote a lot of the script on set. Solima's direction really plays up to that script, and I mean, there's just some awful scenes here. There's a scene where you watch a child like get blown up. Like, it's like, I don't want to see this in any movie. It's like, what is this? And it's just shocking. It's not like it doesn't really have an impact in the movie. It's just a shocking thing to see, and it's really like just not a good tactic to start a movie. I
It's
don't know.
uncomfortable. It really just you really the movie just feels off after that. Like, you really, I couldn't after that happened. It's like, I'll watch the rest of the movie, but I can't get invested in this story and what's going on here. Like, it just, and I can't get behind it either. It's like listening to an album, and if the first song is like really really bad, it's like I can't get into it. Like like that's how the terrorist attack felt at the beginning of this movie. Like, it was just, it was just so tone deaf, and it was a slog. It was a slog after it. Like, it really was.
Yeah, it just wasn't good. I mean, the action, I guess, was well done. I mean, when done, like, I thought it was effective, but I
can't see why people are giving this like an 8, or like I've seen people say this is like Sheridan, like this is a great Sheridan movie, and it's like, no, it's not.
I think it's competent in a lot of places, but it's just it's so misguided. Like,
Yeah.
and it like similar to Solo earlier this summer, it's a movie that never justifies its existence. Like, it doesn't add anything to what the first film did. Like, it's just trash.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a 3 though. Like I said, it's competent in some places. The acting isn't terrible. I mean, the action is decent. So I don't know. I wasn't miserable, but definitely was not engaging.
I'll give it a 1.5.
All right.
Yeah. Bring back Emily Blunt and Daniel Kaluuya.
I mean, Denis Villeneuve's the biggest name, but yeah.
Well, sadly, I think they're gonna make a third one based off of how it ended.
I don't. The box office wasn't good enough.
You don't think so? I don't know. The way this one ended, it seemed like there was a bit of a foreshadowing for a third one.
It dropped off, I think, 60% from last weekend to this weekend.
Good.
The box office.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Don't see it. All right, we'll move on. We have one more movie for our 3-in-1. The Purge, the First Purge, the 4th official movie, but this one acts as a prequel.
It's the first in timeline, but the 4th to come out.
Yeah. Should I go over the plot? I will.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, the plot line is pretty similar to the others. Like, to push the crime rate below 1% for the rest of the year, the new founding fathers of America test a sociological theory that vents aggression for one night to one isolated community, the community being Staten Island. So basically, it's just how it started. Like it's the experiment that started it, but in a controlled setting rather than the whole country. Um, this was another movie, kind of like most of the summer movies, summer blockbusters, where it was fun. It was a fun time.
Yikes.
What?
I said yikes.
What? No. I'm saying like
I thought it was kind of bad.
kind of what?
Bad.
Kind of bad. I mean, you didn't say. I didn't think you said that out of it. I thought okay. I'll say
the movie does a lot of things very poorly. I think the reason I just really can't invest myself in this movie, it's just the political. I'm not even going to say undertones. I'm going to say overtones because it's so just exaggerated. Are just so dumb.
But
like,
I think
they're so dumb, and the movie it's like it's trying to act like it's about something when it just is so misguided at that. And anytime it tries to be something more than a genre movie, it just falls on its face. And I don't think the genre aspects of it were that good until the third act. I think the director Gerard McMurray, who his first movie Burning Sands on Netflix is actually a pretty good flick. He definitely is more interested in the political aspects than the genre aspects, which is fine. But the script just does such a shitty job at it. Like, so I don't know. It's not even like that. Like, I thought the first hour was not good.
No, I will say the beginning of the film, I was probably at a 3. I'm not gonna lie, because I didn't care about these characters' backstories, because we all know the story. Like, we all know what the Purge movies are about. Like, I don't care about the backstory. Like they were trying to build character in this movie, but in the most like surface level way. Like they were like had this guy who's a gangster basically, and he's like hustling, and it's like, all right, that's the most surface level character arc ever. I don't care about these characters building up. Let's just get to the damn Purge. And
the acting wasn't bad either. Like, the actors did an okay job, and I at least admire that the movie tries to establish a sense of place. But like, yeah, it's just really poorly written.
Well,
like, I don't blame the director. I wish he did a better job with the horror stuff, because a lot of it, I think, through the first hour is not that interesting. I think in the, like in the third act, he definitely comes to life a bit.
The ending like few scenes are actually really well directed. Like I love the whole like flashing light.
Yeah.
The flashing light effect was really well done.
I definitely enjoyed myself a lot in the third act, but it was too little, too late.
I think much like the second one, because the second one's the only other one I've seen. Like, the directing in that movie was actually pretty good in my opinion, and I think at times it was pretty good in this one too. I didn't have a problem with as much with the over exaggeration, because I just thought it was funny. like Trump's
it was clumsy as fuck.
Trump's an obvious moron, so like them making the guy who
but it wasn't like clever. Like, it wasn't even funny. It was just clumsy.
It was funny to like laugh at. It was like, oh, he's an obvious Trump. It's an obvious Trump metaphor, but
I don't think that's how the movie intends.
I don't know. Like the two Purge movies I've seen, I've like for like at least half of it, if not a little over it, I've enjoyed. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I think they're a lot of fun, the two ones I've seen. And yeah, the script is bad, but did I expect the script to be anything great? No. Like,
that's making excuses for the movie.
I'm not, man. It's all context. Like, the other 3 Purge movies, like I've only seen one other, but I'm sure
I thought the second one was well written because it was tight. Like, it knew what it was.
Well, yeah, I like the second one.
It was well written in the context of what movie
Matt,
it was.
I said this after you remember this. You remember when I said this, like, immediately after seeing it, I actually thought it was a legitimately good movie, the second one.
It is, but it's a good script in the context of what the movie is.
Yeah.
It's tight. It moves at a good clip.
Well, I agree.
This movie is not tight.
Well, what I liked about the second one was it kind of just it jumped right in. Like, it didn't fuck around for like 30 minutes, which is kind of what this one did for a little bit. But
So I don't get why this one is good. I don't.
I'm not saying it's like, Matt, I'm probably at a 6. Like that's not,
It's still a recommend. I'm surprised even with the
Yeah,
recommendation.
I'm gonna recommend it because I do like the whole horror aspect of the movie, and I like the party scene in it. There's a cool party scene where one of the crazy guys in the movie just like starts like friggin'
Yeah, the movie's tone deaf comment on government's treatment of mental illness. Yeah, that was great.
No, I'm just saying. Oh, Matt, I don't care about the. It's the friggin' Matt. It's the Purge. Like I'm not gonna say that.
I don't know. It's making excuses for the
I'm not
movie.
making excuses. I'm saying I enjoyed the horror aspect of the movie. That's what I enjoyed. I enjoyed when it finally got to the Purge is when I started actually investing myself in the film.
I didn't think anything was that good until the third act. I thought the style of the first hour was just kind of muted and not that interesting.
I'd say the first half hour, maybe 25 minutes.
First hour for me. It just once the Purge starts, it's not like the movie shoots. Like it doesn't bring the action to life. Like it just feels very like routine, and I feel like
the party scene. I think there's a bit of life in it.
Yeah, there's some. Okay, well that's like it's a 1 minute scene in a movie. Like I'm talking about it as a whole. Like a lot of the gunplay was kind of standard issue and weak. The story doesn't really go anywhere interesting. Like the gangster, we follow some double crosses. Like I don't know. Like I felt like the movie was kind of dicking around in a sense till like the action started. Like it was moving a bit without purpose, and then it would cut back to the political aspects where you have Marissa Tomei having absolutely nothing to do. Like, and that movie could have used a campy, memorable government person, like someone who really just was like, like Trump, like someone just a dynamic presence. But the movie doesn't have that. Like, it's just kind of like all the political stuff is just boring. Like, it needed some more life, it's a little bit more snap to it. Like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did, it was definitely cringe whenever they friggin' would cut back to the government scenes and they would be like, it was odd how Marissa Tomei, who was probably the most well-known actor in the film, kind of just had like she was just there.
She didn't do shit.
Yeah, it was weird.
Academy Award winner Marissa Tomei, like.
Yeah.
The fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was bad. And the third act was fun. I don't think it was. I wasn't miserable during it. It's just a 5 for me.
A 5 is bad. Wow.
It's like a rental. Like
I'll
if
give
you
it
watch
a 6.
on TV, you watch on TV, you won't hate it. But like I don't know, it just wasn't good.
Yeah. I'll give it a
the
6.
Entertainment factor is like is the 5, not the quality. The quality is more like a 4. But
yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of. I think the series is kind of played out too. I don't think there's. Yeah. I don't think there's really anything interesting to do left.
Yeah. It's definitely on its. Well, I mean, I gotta see I haven't seen the first one nor the election year one to really speak on.
This one kind of felt tired to me. Like it just felt like, all right, going through the motions a bit.
What if they get like? What if they get like a really great action director and, figure out an interesting story? Maybe a great Purge movie. It's a shame.
It's because the guy who wrote the first one writes all of them, so they're all like I don't know.
It's a shame because it's an interesting premise that like we haven't gotten like a great Purge movie yet. Like I don't know. I feel like it's a shame. I feel like the premise is actually kind of interesting when it first came out, and like there just hasn't been a great one. It seems like.
I don't know. I'm just tired of. I'd like to see more original horror movies. No more Purge.
Yes.
Everyone loves to talk about Blumhouse, the greatest thing ever, but they milk the shit out of this and the Paranormal Activity franchises to their like breaking point. Like Paranormal Activity, there's like 6 movies, and like 3 of them no one cares about. And I feel like the Purge is going to get to that point too if they keep
Well,
making
here's
them.
the thing, man. The Paranormal Activity movies, people really get behind. Like, I've talked to people who are like, they're the scariest movie I've ever seen. So, like,
Who are these people? What?
I'm just saying, I've heard people talk about it. Like,
I think the first one it was big, but like as a fad, and then people saw the second and third one. Like it was kind of like the Purge. Like the Purge, the story of it was the fad, but for Paranormal Activity, the fad was the filmmaking style. But the first Purge was big, and then they've all been pretty big. I mean, the new one even it made about I think 30 million over its 5 day opening, which it's pretty good.
yeah,
They make a pretty penny with these movies, so I mean I get why they make them, but I just wish they would do a little more with them.
yeah, I agree. I think we can agree on that. All right. Well, that's our 3-1. Wrap that up. Uh, don't see Sicario. Trying to
Or
think.
Purge.
Yeah.
Wait. Honestly, wait. Just wait for home video for Purge. I don't think it's worth. I don't think you need to go see it in the theater.
Unless you have Movie Pass.
I
I'm
guess
trying to think what's on the horizon. Hey, there's a lot on the horizon for films.
Skyscraper.
Yeah, Skies.
Not
I love
on
how
the
I
horizon.
love that's the first movie that came to mind. The new
Well,
Dwayne Johnson.
I saw Ant-Man already. You have to see
Yeah,
Ant-Man.
I gotta see Ant-Man. I saw Incredibles too. I mean, I have the same thoughts as you on that. So I mean, I thought it was a 7. But yeah, so summer's not over yet. We still got most of July left, and then August, before we hit the award season, which is still a few months away. But yeah, so I'm gonna put this video up on our channel at the Movies of Matt and Ryan. We did a mega review a little while ago, where we did like a huge catch up on a bunch of films that we saw for the past 2 months. If you want to check out that's up there as well. So yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys soon.
Peace.